Exactly 32 minutes gone past 6 a.m. It's another bright Wednesday morning. Welcome once again. This is Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We are reaching live from Wales Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyale State, Ibadan. Welcome to Perspectives Unlimited. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies. So alongside with our analysts in the studio this morning, we'll delve into some of our national dailies and, analyze some of the stories in a bit to keep you abreast about happenings around Nigeria. My name is Toluwaleke Alli, and I welcome you once again. Feel free to join us on YouTube this morning as we're live on YouTube as at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. At Wales Radio 89.3 FM. WELLS Radio 89.3 FM. We're live on YouTube, and you can also, connect through our Facebook page at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. So drop your comments on both platforms and we'll be sure to take them this morning. But of course, in the course of the show, we also get to open the phone lines for you to put a call through to the studio to be a part of the show. First, let's go check out the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning, today, the 16th of April, 2025. From the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, above the masthead, inflation rises to 24.23% in March. And that story can be found on page 19. Trump tariffs, global oil volatility harming Nigeria's economy. That's coming from the NMDPRA, and that's on page 20. It has a few riders, some of which you can find on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. U.S. tariff war threatens AFCFTA goals 2025 budget. That's coming from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. China turns to Nigeria, other emerging economies as U.S. markets freeze. Labor to federal government, unemployment, fueling kidnapping, militancy. And that story can be found on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on page 8, monitor Rivers sole administrators' activities. Speaker Abbas tasks oversight committee. And that's also on page 8. On page 12, 300 million naira hosting fund. Rivers government threatened legal action against NBA. The lead story this morning on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper reads, Plateau. Outrage grows over killings. Governor Mutfwang apologizes. And it has a couple of riders. A survivor recounts ordeal. Nigerians dying due to Tinubu's incompetence. That's coming from Atiku. Perpetrators must be brought to book. That's from Kwakwanto. Killings in Plateau, an agenda by known group. And that's, in the words of Jang, asks Tinubu to convene expanded meeting in Plateau. Northern Can condemns killings in Plateau. All of this you can find on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Easter, federal government declares Friday, Monday, public holidays. And that's on page 6. On page 9, $1 trillion economy. NGE president tasks banks to prioritize real sector lending. Taraba, Ondo lead as Lassa fever death toll rises to 127. And that's on page 7. PDP to Tinubu, Ondo not safe, declare state of emergency. And that's on page 10. Anyanwu to PDP governors, I can't be removed by some party men. That can be found on page 26 of the Vanguard newspaper. On page 31 in the sports column, immortalized Chuku Nwobodo charges federal government. And those are the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Rivers vow to recover 300 million naira from NBA, threatens legal action. That story is on page 3. On page 15, that's the business page of the Guardian newspaper. Inflation resumes upward trend, rises to 24.23% in March. Address pervasive killings decisively, Kegama tells Tinubu. And that's on page 29. The lead story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Desperate Nigerians lose over 1.7 trillion naira to Ponzi schemes in 9 years. And that's on page 6 with, an image of how to spot Ponzi scheme. Reps inaugurate 21-member committee to make laws for rivers. And that's on page 7. On page 2, autonomy. Court adjourns Algon's suit against federal government, state governments. Natasha's sexual harassment allegation, watery, contradictory, says Agbakoba. That can be found on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. 2027, Atiku, PDP youths bicker on alliance as Makinde voices. And that story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. IGP vows justice as Mutfwang visits grieving plateau communities. To read more on that, check out page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigerians dying due to Tinubu's incompetence, Atiku claims. That's on page 3. The final story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Lagos says citizens spend 14 trillion naira yearly to power homes, businesses. And that's on page 4. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, where the lead story on the front page reads, Emergency Rule. Reps inaugurate 21-member committee on rivers oversight. And it has a couple of riders. State government threatens NBA with legal action over 300 million naira conference fund. PDP Ward Chairman's Forum writes IBAS to hold unconstitutional appointments. And that can be found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Above the masthead, 2027 presidency, I beg your pardon. I'm focused on mandates given to me by Oyo State people, says Makinde, and that's on page 13. Food, non-alcoholic beverage pushed Nigeria's inflation to 24.23% in March, and that's on page 6. FAC, federal government, states, local governments share 1.578 trillion naira match revenue. And that's on page 7. Lassa fever, death toll hits 127. And that's coming from the NCDC. Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, worst hit. And that's on page 3. On page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Investment and Securities Act 2025. Engage in Ponzi scheme, spend 10 years in prison. NMDPRA blames Trump's tariff policies for crude oil price fall. And it has a couple of riders as Nigeria sees sharp drop in petrol imports. Investors get 47 licenses to establish 1.75 million barrels per day refineries. On the final story, U.S. 14% tariff has significant impact on sector economy. And that can be found on page 30. And of course, there are words of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, killings, enough is enough. Northern traditional rulers are saying that, and that's on page 37 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Prices of ginger, gari, others push inflation to 24.23%. That's on page 27. The lead story, how thousands of Nigerians lost 1.3 trillion naira to scam. As a rider, citizens need financial education, says expert, and that can be found on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Nigeria moving backwards under Tinubu, El-Rufai alleges. And it has a rider, ruling party only remembered Buhari after my defection. And that can be found on pages 5 and 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Finally, the Punch newspaper, where above the masthead, Defense Minister, Service Chiefs review security strategies. And that's on page 34. Federation account allocation falls third straight month to 1.57 trillion naira. That's also on page 35. Still on page 35, oil slump. Trump tariffs put Nigeria's economy at risk. And that's coming from the federal government. Plateau killings. How militants attacked villages near major army formation. And that's coming from victims, and it can be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Interpol joins EFCC in 1.3 trillion naira CBEX probe. It has a rider. EFCC cracks down on other Ponzi schemes. Police short CBEX office. Victims recount losses. And that's also on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Tinubu inherited economy on life support. And those are the words of Umahi. And to read more on that, check out page 26 of the Punch newspaper. 2027, I have capacity to be president, says Makinde. And that's on page 34. Sanwo-Olu inaugurates courthouse for commercial disputes. And that can be found on page 6 of the Punch newspaper. Will petition NFF over dad's unpaid wages. That's coming from Christian Chiku's son, and it's on page 3. Lassa fever kills 127 in 18 states. That's on page 26. And the final story on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Hausa community backs Olubadan's removal of Serikin Shasha. And that's on page 26. And those are the stories across some of the front pages of some of our national dailies this morning. All right, joining me on the show this morning for the analysis is our in-house analyst, Chukwuemeka Munachiso. Good morning, Chukwuemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
All right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper, the lead story. Interpol joins EFCC in 1.3 trillion naira CBEX probe. And I'll take some of that story. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has launched an investigation into the alleged 1.3 trillion naira fraud perpetrated through a digital investment platform, crypto bank exchange. CBEX operated by a group of foreign nationals in collaboration with their Nigerian partners, reportedly collapsed on Monday, leaving thousands of investors stranded and unable to access their funds. The FCC spokesman, Dele Oyewale, confirmed to The Punch on Tuesday that the commission would collaborate with the International Criminal Police Organization to investigate the incident. Oyewale stated that the agency had already begun investigating CBEX before its collapse. He added that efforts were underway to arrest both the local and international operators behind the fraudulent scheme. He also revealed that the commission was working to uncover other Ponzi schemes operating across the country. All right. And it says that although the Punch could not immediately verify the quantum of the fraud, but unconfirmed reports claimed Nigerian and foreign investors on the platform lost about 1.3 trillion naira in USDT. Nigerians and, involvement in schemes like this, uh, as become happens
So frequent.
very frequently. And, as much as all of this is really sad, I saw a video of a woman who went to Libya to work, did all of the hard work. She was showing all the wounds that she had on her body because of the strenuous work that she had to do over there. And then the all money she got from there, she invested.
Okay.
She collected money from her neighbors, invested. Why do Nigerians keep going back to this, despite the fact that every single time, they lose a lot of money and so many things keeps coming out from these Ponzi schemes that a lot of people invest their money in?
Tolu, I don't want us to look at CBEC's issue in isolation. The country itself is a Ponzi country. And what is Ponzi? Ponzi is a scheme whereby a fraudulent scheme, something that is not, that this thing is not real. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. You take from this person, you give to another person, make promises you cannot fulfill. But let's go back into history. I've said it here before, and I'm going to say it again. Ponzi scheme came as a result of an Italian migrant that left Italy in the year 1920. His name is Charles Ponzi. He went to America and settled down, was so much cash strapped that he needed to survive. And he came up with a scheme whereby Americans were told to bring money, I will give you this. As people were coming, human beings naturally are greedy. They want something they didn't work for. And many people fell into it. That was where that name came from. Ponzi. The name is Charles Ponzi. Now, let's come back to our country. When you talk of a fraudulent scheme, tell me one thing in our country that a scheme that we don't have an element of Ponzi in it. We have Ponzi election. People invested their votes. What did they get? That's Ponzi. You have a Ponzi governance. You have a Ponzi electricity tariff. You pay more and you get darkness. That is Ponzi. You have a Ponzi telecom services. They give you data. The moment you call somebody is gone. That's Ponzi. Now, Nigerians, poverty is raging like a typhoon right now in our country. And that is why people will always look for means to keep afloat, to stay afloat. And that's why they fall for these Ponzis. And if you look at, we have Ponzi leadership. We have invested our hopes. We have invested our future. We have invested everything. And what are we getting? So it's not just people coming to reap Nigerians as financially. Have we not been reaped in other ways, in other means? We have. So if we want to actually deal with Ponzi scheme in Nigeria, we have to start with our leadership. A leadership, I don't know whether you heard about sending people to jail for not voting. How can it work? Okay, there was no law for those we voted for and they didn't work for us. What happens to them? If I go to jail because I didn't vote, what of those that I voted for and they didn't do what they said they would do? Is that not a Ponzi? It is, because I've invested something, believing that when I put these people into power, they will give me something in return. That is Ponzi. So CBEX should not be treated in isolation. If we want to tackle Ponzi scheme holistically in our country, we have to start with ourselves, our leadership. We have to start with everything that has declaration of Ponzi scheme. That's because we're living in a Ponzi country. You understand? So the only way to stop this is to create an atmosphere of political participation by the people. Let's go back to the drawing board and look at how Nigeria will work. Because if Nigeria is working, Ponzi scheme cannot thrive in a country where people are well taken care of. They can't thrive. Because if I have enough food to eat, I go to my house, there's electricity, there is road for me to ply on with my car. My children I'm not paying through my nose to send my children to school. Savages are not coming from another country to come and kill me in my own country. And all the governments we offer are condolences. Why should I engage in Ponzi when I know I'm taken care of? I will tell you a story. A friend of mine went to Germany and he was looking for a pastor. So he was looking for, he forgot his Bible in Nigeria and he was looking for where to buy Bible. He couldn't see one. He looked and searched and called one of the girls in in the hotel where he lodged, a receptionist, and asked her, where can I get? The lady now told him to go to one remote place that there we find it. Maybe the man will have a copy because it's an old bookshop. The man went there and eventually found one. When he came back to the hotel where he lodged, normally you will thank the person who helped you. He now went to the lady and said, thank you for directing me where. The girl said, he now said, may God bless you. The girl said, what do I need God's blessing for? I don't need God's blessing. I know because do you know why the girl made that statement? Because when people live in affluence, they get something, they feel that they don't need God's blessing. But that girl was making a mistake. She needs God's blessing. All of us need God's blessing. What am I driving at? I'm looking at why we are where we are today. Because we have not been able to deal with to create a situation where citizens will feel that, look, we are citizens, where people are taken care of. If you give me light and I have food to eat and there is security and there is everything, some people will come and tell me, can you come and invest 20,000 naira in the morning, in the evening, come and collect 60? I won't do it. Many Nigerians will not do it. But because people have been so much fleeced that there's nothing for them again to hold on to. Anybody that comes on board, anybody that comes with anything that looks like it will offer me food, they will go for it. Look at our election. Why you saw what happened in the Ondo election? Even grounded pepper, people we are giving grounded pepper to vote. Is that not Ponzi? You are giving me something that you know that if poverty is not raging like a typhoon and people are not hungry and people are actually getting what they want, there are certain things Nigerians will not fall for. But Nigerians will fall for Ponzi because the country itself is operating like a Ponzi scheme.
Okay, so now let's look at the Investment and Securities Act, ISA 2025, that says that if you engage in Ponzi scheme, you spend 10 years in prison.
It's not going to work. It's not just like this thing they're coming up with. If you don't vote, you go to jail for 6 months, or you pay some fine. Let them deal with the Ponzi we have on our own. Let us deal with something that looks like Ponzi in our country, in our constitution, in our governance. Let's look at it first before we begin to. There's so many laws in our statutory book. Are they working? They're not working because they cannot work. If you create an enabling environment where these things will not thrive, there's no need for all these laws. There's no need for us for it. But because you have not been able to create an environment where human beings will thrive. The essence of government is to preserve lives and property. When that is not done, what do you expect people to do? They will live like animals. They will live, anything that will offer them hope, they will go for it. That is the reason where, bad leadership has a lot of consequences. Ponzi scheme is one of them. These people will come to countries where they know that people are down. They are living below breadline. There is nothing for them to hold on to. So if you promise them something, because human beings are naturally greedy, they will go for it. That's why we have, you say 10 years, if you're anything that looks like Ponzi. Let's start from governance. Let's make our governance not look like Ponzi before we deal with people who are coming with actual Ponzi scheme in our country. That's where I stand as a Nigerian, and I love this country. This country must live well. Nigerians must live well. Nigerians must have a country they call their own and be proud of it when they go outside. If you have ever traveled outside and see how they look at you as a Nigerian, as if you are wearing the back of your cloth? Because of I don't know whether you saw a video where a Chinese man was sharing money to policemen. It's all over the social media. A Chinese man. Our policemen, they lined up, and this man was sharing money to them. What a shame. Can a Nigerian go to China and they call their policemen and be sharing money to them publicly? So how do we... in fact, Nigeria must work. If you want to clean the urgent stable, if you want to make this country work, we know what to do. Nigerians must sit down and design a way that, because this country, God has blessed us beyond every reasonable imagination, and we have messed it up. Thank God we don't even have human as natural disasters. If we have natural disasters coupled with human disaster we have, it would have been another thing else. So Ponzi scheme cannot be addressed unless we address Ponzi governance, unless we address all the things happening in Nigeria that look like Ponzi. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. People have cried out severally. We invested our votes, invested our future, invested everything. What do we get in return? That is Ponzi, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, you can join the conversation this morning by calling the phone line 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0916-893-2000. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my name is George.
Welcome to the show, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, my brother.
You see, you have just said it all. If you are not a wise person, you always fall to gambling. Gambling is a game of the wise. Why is the government not putting laws to stop people from even bringing that thing to the country? That is the only way it will not happen again. Because exactly what Chukwemeka said is what is happening even in our politics. We cannot say anything now. We cannot even stop them from doing the things they are doing to us. Because they have captured us. They have gotten our minds. And they continue doing the same thing. So there is no way they can bring any law that will say, if you go. Is it gambling? Do you know how old gambling is in the world? They should not be delaying us with all this talk. They should talk about how to govern this country and make the country good. One of the worst policies they have brought so far is this issue of going to Abuja to share money every month end. If you remove this thing and ask each zone of this country to be fending for themselves, you will see progress in some part of this nation. But now everybody is going there to go and share money, and every governor and all of them are getting rich and then taking off for a ride. Atiku now is saying that Buhari is not efficient in managing Nigeria's this thing, and people are abusing Atiku for it. Is it not true? Didn't he say that he wants to continue from where Buhari stopped? Was Buhari being praised as at the time he was leaving government? And we are worse than even when we were with Buhari. Is it not the same policy? So please, we should get people who can rule us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. 0915-333-4893. We're going to break now. Perspectives Unlimited returns shortly.
Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wales Radio 89.3 FM. You can join the conversation this morning. We're live on YouTube at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. At Wales Radio 89.3 FM. We're live on YouTube, and you can also connect through our Facebook page at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. Call the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0916 893 2000, 0916-893-2000. You can also call 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. Let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, this story is across all national dailies this morning, but it's a rather sad one. Plateau outrage grows over killings. Governor Mutfwang apologizes. Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State yesterday apologized to the people of Bassa local government area for the failure of government and security agencies to protect lives and properties as condemnations trailed the killings. Let's pick this call first. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please switch off your radio set.
Hello, good morning.
We need you to switch off your radio set first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please, I just want to contribute to the program.
All right. Your name, sir?
I'm Femi Bani.
Okay, welcome.
Please, I understand the what is it called? What Mr. I don't know the man. I understand what they are saying.
Okay,
yes,
Mr. Chukwemeka.
No, but
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
We should not think towards that direction because, one, it's not only our government's fault. Most of all these things that is happening is because of the greediness of the Marxists. Okay, what if the government stop most of the bad things on internet or and want to come to Nigeria? Are they not going to protest? Are they not going to say the government are doing bad? So we should not only think about government is this, government is that. Which one are we acting? Which one are we putting stoppage on? Most of our behaviors, most of our greediness, most of our the kind of behaviors most of the Nigerian people, they are so bad to an extent that you don't even blame only the government. Okay, if government could have stopped that kind of thing, maybe at the middle stage, would they allow government to stop it? They say, government, you are not giving us money, you are not feeding us, and you don't want us to change to another direction. All those things. People will complain. Nobody can be contented with what they have.
All right, thank you so much for your input this morning. So back to the story. This is a survivor of the attack lamented that his sister wouldn't have died if she had not, out of fear, run out of her hiding. Okay, we have a call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, this is Miriam. I'm calling from Odejari.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. As regards the various policies, I believe that the government gets some responsibility. Because if the economy was thriving and people had access to comfort and opportunities, fewer individuals will be tempted by this get-rich-quick scheme. So nevertheless, I urge everyone to please be extra careful. May God protect all Nigerians.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much for your contribution this morning. So yes, back to the story again. The governor's apology came on a day former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in the 2023 elections, Rabiu Kwankwanso, ex-governor of Plateau State, Juna Jang, and the northern chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, condemned the killings and asked the government to punish the perpetrators. Recall that no fewer than 52 people were killed last Saturday night in the community of the local government area, barely 2 weeks after the same number of persons were slaughtered in Boko's local government area of the state, bringing the total killed to 104. The governor will give the apology at the palace of the paramount ruler of Miango community of the state, said that he has been crying since Monday because, he had trusted God that all the arrangements that were put in place would prevent what happened from happening. But the killings in, Plateau seems to be unending presently. However, the IGP has said something. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, who was also in Plateau State yesterday, said the days of the perpetrators of attacks on rural communities in Plateau State were numbered and assured the people of the federal government's commitment to ensuring adequate security. in the state. And he said they've deployed more security personnel and resources to affected areas and also working closely with other security agencies. Plateau State is bleeding. Borno State is not left out. Benue State. The PDP in Ondo State have also called out to the federal government to declare a state of emergency on Ondo State.
Now, Tolu, the IGP has gone to Plateau to say the usual thing we've been hearing all the time. The people that were slaughtered under Buhari regime, how many people were brought to book? Look, when a country is weak, there's nothing that country can do. These savages that are marauding in our forest, where are they from? Who gave them the AK-47 they are carrying? There are some fundamental questions we need to call ourselves. Government should ask. People should ask government if they are sincere in tackling this menace. Who gave these people AK-47? Where did they come from? Are they Nigerians? How did they enter this place? Who authorized them to come in? There are so many questions that are begging for answers. It is not enough to go to Plateau and make all the statements that are needed to be made, and tell us the normal people will be brought to book. Where is the book? How many people have been brought to book? Look, only transparency. Government knows exactly what is happening. Unfortunately, Nigerians are paying dearly for all this nonsense that is going on. Which country, which responsible country, will this thing be happening every now and then, and yet it has not come to an end? Which country? Tell me. We had it under Buhari. Benue was almost like a graveyard. They called Autumn, Chief Undertaker of Benue State. Now, Reverend Hyacinth Alli has started. And yet we know the people that are doing this. Where are they coming from? Who gave them the guns they are carrying up and down? Let me tell you something. Look at what happened in Ondo State. Look at what is happening in Zamfara. I have a friend from Zamfara. He tells me everything that's going on in that state. It's a pity. Zamfara is underreported. These people will wander into Nigeria, come into Nigeria, do whatever they want to do, and the government is lying comatose. Our security operatives are not doing anything to make sure. How long will this thing continue to happen in our country? Must it be an occurrence under every regime? That's the question. We have lost hundreds of people in Plateau. I saw the video. Small children, 5 to 7 years, butchered with machete on their heads. Savages coming into your own country to wreak havoc, and you cannot take action. It is Khan and all these people coming on to say we condemn the dastardly killing. That's the usual platitude. That's the usual thing we've been hearing. Nigerians are expecting the government to take decisive action. These people, are they shielded? Are they above Nigeria? That's the question I keep asking. Because I know what they did in the Southeast when they declared the Operation Python Dance, and many young people were massacred. Why can't they do the same thing? These people that are coming, are they Nigerians? Let them tell who gave them the gun. Or are they permitted to carry gun while Nigerians are not permitted to carry gun? You know why I'm saying this? Let it not come to a situation where people will be forced to form militias to protect their own ethnic group.
Now, okay, let's pick this call first. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Adeonke from Muslim.
Welcome to the Shadi Ranke.
Thank you. Concerning the CBS, should we say that the government is not aware that they are operating in Nigeria? Even the CBN, are they not aware that they are operating in Nigeria? Seriously, is the government we still blame? Because had it been our economy is stabilized, people are not going through a lot of hardship in this country. So I don't see any reason why anybody would want to invest in Ponzi. Besides, to the cities in Nigeria and our side, to which we are greedy. Some people, so Gundogoji, like Yoba used to say, so they say bring 2 naira to collect 4 naira. So I think they will learn their lesson through this. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Now, former Plateau Governor Jang said that he said it is there's a sinister agenda behind these communal clashes.
It's not even communal clashes. When you call communal clashes, it's not communal. Because these people are not indigenes of Plateau State. They wandered into Nigeria. It's not communal. Communal crises only come when there is a crisis between neighborhoods where people that are indigenous to that place are fighting among themselves. They are not indigenous people. So it's not communal. When you tell it communal, they are being economical with the truth. It's never communal. It's invasion. Let's call it what it is. It's invasion of Bokos by invaders from outside this country or wherever they are coming from. It's not communal.
So a lot of people are wondering why the federal government is not releasing any statements concerning all that is happening presently.
That's why I said that they know what is going on and they must tell Nigerians the truth. Because we cannot continue to lose innocent. Look at the children. Is it a crime for them to be born in that place? We are complacent here because it has not come down here. Look at what happened in Ondo State. 100 people gone. Because of what? If you are doing business, must you kill people because you are doing business? That is the question. Government must wake up and tell them, look, the northern traditional elders coming out to say that as enough is enough. That is to me, that's a lame statement because they have said it severally and yet enough was not enough. The security people, they say they will review security strategies. Why must it be reviewed now that something has happened? Why has it not been reviewed all this long? Why are we learning geography the morning after every earthquake? That is very, very wrong. Nigerians must not continue to, we don't have good governance, yet we are losing our lives. Can't we keep our lives even though we don't have what we call as governance? The question is, government must tell the people why people will come into your country. Can Nigerians go to China and be killing Chinese? Can Nigerians even go to Ghana and be killing Ghanaians? And you think Ghana government will keep quiet? They will lock up everybody. Somebody called in one of my programs. He said he was coming to Ibadan, going to Lagos with cartridge. I think how many pieces of cartridge? They searched his bag and saw cartridge. He spent 8 years in Agodi. Ordinary cartridge. He didn't carry gun, no cartridge. But somebody will be walking around with AK-47 and the state will be looking at him and keep quiet. Our security operatives, are they compromised? If they are compromised, there is a need to reject the security architecture and remove the bad eggs that are aiding all these things. Because if you look at the report coming from Benue, look at the one that happened as in Plateau. People were even attacked near army formation. That is near army formation. People were attacked near army formation. What does that tell you? There's a compromise somewhere. And it is dangerous when security operatives are compromised. You are on your own. Because you don't know who to trust again. So my own take here is that Nigerians must not continue to die. I am a Nigerian and I believe in this country. This country, we should not be burying people on a daily basis because of strangers coming in here to kill people.
Let's pick this call first. Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Calling from Malacca.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma'am. On the issue of insecurity, the continuous killing that keeps happening in Benue State is really getting out of hand. Just yesterday was the news about 51 people being killed in Plateau State. What is really happening? Why is the federal government keeping silent on the issue of insecurity? I thought life and property of the citizens should be a major priority for the government. But here we are, the government don't even speak to border. So it's high time the federal government grant our demand of state police because that's the only way out. They should please do the needful. Before they do the needful. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Tolu, let me ask you, if there is state police, you think this will happen? The police of that Plateau, they will already know. They will nip it in the bud. We know where our problems are coming from and we know the answers. Why are we not taking the answers? We have been talking about state police. We have been saying that.
Hello?
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir. It's not even part of I absolutely agree with you that if you have state police, the issue of Plateau State will not get out of hand like that. Because every crime is local. Even the state police, we know the nitty-gritty of what is going on. Instead of Mr. President that is telling us a communal clash, it's not supposed to be. And Mr. President is losing ground in the aspect of insecurity because the first primary assignment of a good governance is protection of lives and property of the people. But in that aspect, it's losing ground. So maybe it's time for him to declare state of emergency in that Plateau. No, we are not thinking about suspending the governor. State of emergency. If human lives are very paramount and precious to the administration, you're supposed to do the needful in that regard. That's my own submission. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. But to correct something, it wasn't the president that called it a communal clash.
No,
it was a former
no, that's what
governor.
they told him. They told him that it's a communal clash, but it's not a communal clash. He said it. Yeah, so it's not a communal clash. So back to what I'm saying. If we have state police, we will nip this in the bud. The state police will already, they will know. They will get information that these things are about to happen, and they will stop it. Imagine what you took IGP to go to play. Why are we having? Why should? That was why Vice President Kashim Shettima was saying the other day that nothing is wrong with our federal system. That the only thing we can do. He doesn't even understand what's the meaning of federal system. In federal system, you don't have a centralized policing. You don't. You have county, you have local government police, state police, and federal police. Why are we being economical with the truth? Why are we not coming out to say exactly, call a spade, and let the devil be put to shame? You say there's nothing wrong with everything is wrong, because if we go the way of state police, most of these things happening in Ondo, happening in Zamfara, happening in Enugu State, happening as in Plateau, will not be happening, because the state police will be on the ground to check the excesses of these savages that are taking lives on daily basis. And the federal government is quiet.
All right, let's go to the Punch newspaper. The Defense Minister, Service Chiefs review security strategies. The Minister of Defense, Badar Abubakar, on Tuesday held a high-level operational briefing with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and service chiefs to evaluate ongoing efforts to tackle insecurity across the country, particularly in the northern region. And this was disclosed in a statement by the minister's personal assistant on media and publicity, Alli, following the meeting held at the minister's office in Abuja. Let's pick this call before we continue the story. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, the woman.
Good morning, Mr. Gbenga Mario.
Now, on the killing in Plessy and Benue, see, there is something I want to force Mr. President on something. Look at River State. Mr. President declared a state of emergency in River State because there was pipeline finders and a kind of chaos between lawmakers and the government. Now he declared a state of emergency. Now he now sent River as the sole administrator in River State, right? Now I additionally sent 10,000 soldiers, 10,000 soldiers. Remember, there was no war there. There was no killing there. Now, in Plateau State, we have killing, severe killing, of killing people, killing innocent of Nigerians in their hundreds, in their whatever. And the president has not even finished to deploy the 1,000 army personnel. Or let me just say 1,000. The 100 army personnel there. You can see what is happening there. You can see if the president has said, okay, IGP, shift your base down to Plateau State, stop killing. I think it's not too much. If the other CEO, the chief of army staff, to also shift his base down to Plateau to stop it and all that there. I think it's not too much. Why are we playing with human lives? The governor, the Mutuan, he said yesterday, and I give the kudos to the man. He said they have failed the people of the state. It's ready. So the point I'm making now is that what is stopping Mr. President from rolling out full military power against those bandits in Benue State and in Plateau State? See, I'm not a prophet of you, and I'm not praying that evil should continue to befall Plateau and Benue State. See, they don't do what's needful. If the needful is not done, things like this will continue to persist because those people, they will come, they will do they do the killing, and the only thing the government is saying that we are sorry for the loss, perpetrator of this evil act, they brought to book. Which book? And on the issue of the feedback, well, I think it is what is if only all Nigerians can be contented and be like this. Even in my church, we have even pastors in my church. They went to set everybody, every member, virtually every member, and they were telling me, Mario, come and I'm not interested in this thing. Because this thing, when all come at an early stage, it will pay you back. But at the later hand, what we recorded now, it's what we see now, it's our see now. I knew people yesterday that were crying, that called me yesterday, Mario, they have lost thousands of naira, of dollars, whatever, that should come to their aid. And I told them, when you are making your million, when you are making your thousand, come marry. So the thing is just that Nigeria should be contented and government will make the country much more bearable for us so that the economy can thrive and can have a free life for everyone. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gbenga Mario. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Mary. I'm calling back.
Okay, welcome back.
As regards insecurity, it's very important that governments at all levels collaborate together to find a lasting solution, because this daily loss of innocent life is heartbreaking. So I urge them to explore possible means to address this menace. That's why it's well done.
All right, thank you so much. So back to the story. The briefing, according to the statement, provided the minister with a detailed overview of the current security situation, operational challenges and strategic efforts by the armed forces to combat insurgency, banditry and other security threats. The minister was specifically briefed on development in the northeast, northwest, north central plateau and the southeast regions facing heightened threats from Boko Haram, insurgents, bandits, kidnappers, and communal unrest. This, review of security strategies, we always have reviews, but it seems like, for instance, now in Plateau State, part of the communities that were attacked were close to army formation, just like you said. The Borno State governor has been going head to head with the defense headquarters because he keeps saying that the soldiers are no longer doing what they should do. And then a lot of communities in Borno are getting taken over by all of these bandits. But every single time, security chiefs, just review the security strategies, and we're not getting anything concrete.
Tolu, you can't get anything. Go and check. Google how much Buhari spent on security in Nigeria. Security under his regime. Where did the money go to? No consequences. Google how much this administration has spent on security breaches in the country. Google it, you will see. You can't do something when you don't have the will. When you when you are playing to the gallery, there's nothing you can do. These people were attacked near army formation. Does it mean that the army boys were not they didn't hear what was going outside? Why did they come out? When you have a compromised army, there's nothing you can do. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And we keep on reviewing these things. You think these things are reviewed just in it's more money. More money will review, more money will be asked. And I keep saying it, our insecurity has become an industry, and there are stakeholders who will never allow this industry to die. Because the country has been so weakened that there's nothing the country can do. If Nigeria is a country that is strong in every aspect, all institutions are strong, people that are doing this, government the book will even be full by now. But because they know that the country is weakened by corruption, so there's nobody will be brought to book. Absolutely nobody. And this review, what are they reviewing? After the end of the review, the savages that slaughtered people as in Benue and Plateau, how many of them have been arrested? How many people have been arrested? How many people have been arrested with AK-47 to use as a deterrent to others that you don't carry this thing in this country anyhow? How many people have been arrested? The good book said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set. We know the truth, but we don't want to be set free because we want to be politically correct. That is what is going on in our country. But there's something they don't understand. One day you will give an account before the judge of all judges. I'm sorry for them, those that are in government and they are toying with the lives of individuals. Even if you repent and God forgives you, you still pay the consequences. Because these things that are going, do you know what it takes to take human life? Under your watch. And those Nigerians that are keeping quiet, they are privileged people that are keeping quiet. Quietness is complicity. You are equally in support of what is going on. That's why you kept quiet. God will judge all of us. I'm praying. God will judge this country. Because people that are dying on the Tolu, I am sad. I don't want to see. When I was growing up, we were not allowed to see corpses. But look at corpses all over the place. Mass burial every time.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. George, calling back.
Okay, welcome back.
Everything happening as far as security is concerned is failure of leadership. And I want to tell you that our military, they are enjoying what is happening now. If not, how long does it take them to be able to take over these areas where these bandits are, or even to block the entrance from where the foreign mercenaries are coming from. How long does it take them? We continue shouting on the same security, and people are being killed. Now they are looking for young ones to come and join the army. Who will see this fire and go into it? When people are being killed every day, we are talking of the civilians that are killed. Do you know how many of the soldiers that are dying? Those who are making money from it, they will not want it to stop. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's almost time for us to go, but I just want you to say something. So, the NMDPRA boss has blamed Trump's renewed tariff policies for crude oil price fall. Also, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria also blaming Trump's policies for the economy of Nigeria.
If we don't operate a mono economy, why should we be blaming Trump? Because we are not serious. We have been talking of diversification of our economy. Have we diversified it? We have not. The First Republic, where did they get money to develop? Agriculture. And you cannot develop agriculture with all these savages coming inside Nigeria to kill Nigerians. You can't. So if we are serious and we want to, other countries are even looking beyond Trump. Are we looking beyond Trump? No. We are fixated on 2027. May God save this country.
Amen. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning. 30 seconds, please, because we have to go.
My name is Anthony from Oluyole.
Welcome to the show.
Nigeria, we come to close gate when the horse has escaped. Now the army want to rejig. EFCC want to invest CBEX. Let us be proactive for once. Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony. Thank you for coming, Chukwemeka.
Thank you for having me, Tolu.
All right. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of the show. As I would always say, wherever you find yourself, ensure that you put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Alli.
Your preferred wholesome radio.
Not just another radio station. Wells